Upgrades.
Welcome back to another JVS movie review from the Toronto Film Festival. This film here is a film that has become an immediate awards contender on so many different levels. This one is called Lee. And here's a quick synopsis. Lee Miller goes from a career as a model to enlisting as a photographer to chronicle the events of World War II for Vogue magazine. And this one is directed by Alan Kuras. It stars Kate Winslet, Alexander Skarsgård, Josh O'Connor, and Andy Samberg. The first elements of Lee, it's amazing as it opens up as a conversation between Lee and this young reporter named Anthony, who we don't get much information from. And through it, we see her scattered out all her stuff, all her belongings, all her photos. And it begins as a conversation of how we got to Lee taking these amazing photos during World War II. But first, we are introduced to Lee in, I want to say it's the late 1930s in France, as she's just on a vacation, on a trip with her friends, living an extremely carefree life, as Lee lets it be known from the beginning. She likes drinking, she loves fornication, she loves everything that life can bring her. She's trying to enjoy everything after her modeling career. On this trip is where we're introduced to the character of Roland, played by Alexander Skarsgård, who kind of changes Lee's mind and flips her world upside down. It is a scene at the beginning of this film between Kate Winslet, Alexander, and the rest of the cast that is the one that a lot of people are talking about. It's the topless scene for Kate Winslet. It feels so natural though when we see it, because it's another female member of the cast who's also topless at the time, but we see that they only doing this because they're carefree on this vacation. But the moment the character Roland comes up, we immediately see Kate's character cover up, but it didn't feel like she was covering up because she was nude as much as she was covering up because she didn't want him to see her as being vulnerable. And that's an ongoing thing with Lee in this film, is not wanting to perceive to be vulnerable. So after that element, we get them go on this whirlwind romance as Roland has to go back to London and he asks Lee to go with him. And when she goes with him, that's when we get the transition of her then going to British Vogue to become a photographer. And from there, at the same time, is where we get the breakout of World War II. And this is when we see Lee's passion change. While she has a gift for taking pictures, she wants to do more for her country, the country that she lives in. And we see the resistance of one, Vogue magazine wanting to send her to war, but also the British Army wanting to send her to war. And them like, no, women aren't in combat. Women aren't to do this job. But then that's when it triggers Lee in realizing that she's an American anyway. So she goes to America, who gladly sends her there to shoot photographs. At this point of the film, as we go forward and backwards, as we see the older Lee telling Anthony all the stories, going through all these amazing pictures that she took, the amazing setups, what her personal life was at that time. That's when we get what the element of the story truly is, which is this is a story about this woman who pursued what she wanted to pursue at reckless abandonment at times, but also just her passion behind everything and how some of these amazing shots that now you can see any way humanly possible, how we got these shots, what it took for her to get these shots, the drive that she had to have to get it done, but also just the wherewithal to understand, like, a lot of this is going to be history making for so many people. And this was her opportunity to do more, to just sit back and be a housewife during a war. She wanted to do something, to mean something to someone. And we get an amazing story as we see Lee go through this journey of her, even in America, having to fight to get on a combat field, taking pictures. And then her meeting another photographer played by Andy Samberg, who is his performance completely blew me away because this is not what he does. He does straight comedy. This is not a comedic performance by him. And it works wonders as Lee says on her own, is that when he came along, it just changed a lot of what her shots look like. And it just changed the way she had to frame things. He became the perfect partner for her. And we see that throughout this film of how he helped change her and make her work better. Other than that, this is a film about World War II, but it's a film about a woman's passion during World War II. We see when Lee takes these amazing photos and attempts to fight to get them published, and it's Vogue. They're not trying to do that. And what Lee had to fight through for her work to be respected. It's going to be a hard biopic for certain people because it's a lot going on here with Lee's story here. But the film is so engaging. Like, not just the wartime stuff. Granted, she does have some hero moments in this film that can really make you question, okay, is this thrown in here for dramatic effect, or is this a realistic depiction of what happened? But as it just pertains to her work, as it pertains to the pictures that she takes, it is a very powerful picture that is a very famous picture of hers taken in Hitler's apartment in his bathtub. And when you see on film the story of how that picture comes about and the emotion that comes behind that picture, it's a great setup for Kate Winslet. It's hard to say with Kate Winslet that she has a career-defining performance, but this is one of the better performances that she's ever put on. This is definitely, and possibly to me, an Oscar-winning performance by her. This is a film that is strictly carried by her charisma. Her as Lee, you fully believe her as Lee. You fully believe this character. You understand the emotional ups and downs that this character goes through. And it just, as an audience, it captivates you. Everything we see Lee go through in this film, whether it be living through the horrors of World War II and taking some of these pictures, or sympathizing with some of the women on what many people consider the other side, and how sometimes you could just fall for somebody being in a bad situation, or her struggling to find her friends after the invasion takes place. All of this is great on film, and Kate Winslet delivers perfectly. Ellen's direction is also really good here. The cinematography in this film is award-winning. So many shots are set up beautifully. The score is amazing in this film. It's a lot of things that work really, really well for Lee. While granted, again, there are moments that feel like hero moments that I'm not 100% sure if they're real or not, or if they were just inserted to make it seem like Lee was even greater of a person. I don't think those moments were necessary. If you just focus on her work, what she had to do for her work, and the love she had for her friends, and the love she had for Roland, that's enough to really catapult this film to being something you have to see. So Lee, brought to you from the Toronto Film Festival, out of a possible 10, I'm going to give Lee a 9 out of 10. This is possibly going to be an Oscar-winning performance for Kate Winslet. She is amazing in this film. And it's very rare nowadays you get to see, or ever will see, a wartime film led by a female character, and the female character completely carrying the movie to make you watch it. You can't take your eyes off of Kate Winslet in this movie. She's never seemed stronger in a film. She's never seemed more beautiful in a film. She's never seemed more talented in a film. It's so many different elements of her as an actor that you see in this movie that you can't turn your eyes away from. And it makes this movie something that I need everyone to see, because this is an important piece of work here. But check it out once it drops. Let us know what you think. This has been another JVS movie review from the Toronto Film Festival. Peace, people.